All right, folks, welcome to the May 6, 2024 meeting of the Town of Sykesville Planning Commission. I'd like to remind any members of the public who wish to speak that they should restrict themselves to 3 minutes or less and to the topic in hand. And our first order of business is the approval of the April 1st, 2024 minutes, which I assume everybody's had the chance to look at. Any comments or issues? No?
I wasn't here, but I was just going to say that I couldn't second the adjournment. My name's on there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how that happened. All right, so maybe we can make sure that gets removed
I
in the
will.
official minutes.
So just make sure it's
So you
official.
would approve it with that amendment.
Approve it with that amendment. So I move that we approve with the minutes with the noted amendment of Brandon's name. Seconder? Ted, all in favour? Who are there?
Aye.
Aye, good. So that's approved, and moving on, I assume everybody's had the chance to read the county update staff report. Relatively brief. Claire's not here to fill us in on any details, so I will note that for the record. And now we move on to our business agenda, which is the site plan review for a plan that's already been apparently put into place. The Village Road Island and Sign. I'm not sure how you want to do this. Do you want to start with this, Kevin, and just fill us in on where we are and how it came to be?
Yeah, so I'll just go through the staff report, and then if you guys have questions for myself or the applicants,
Okay.
we can jump in that way.
Sounds good.
So what we have tonight, so the applicant's presenting a site plan showing the new island with an updated sign, so forgive the small typo there in the staff report. So new island, updated sign located in the median of Village Road at the intersection with Sandusky Road that was constructed to replace previously existing island and sign. So site plan approval for this project is required for Chapter 122-1 in the Town Code. I put in the relevant section of the code as well as the Planning Commission's authority when approving site plans, but we'll jump past that in the interest of time unless there are any objections. So some information: the project was completed on behalf of Merrill Management, the property management company that operates the Sykesville Apartments. And as we now know, the town wasn't consulted prior to the work taking place and only became aware of the project after significant progress had been made. But the applicant did begin to work with the town upon receipt of their code violation letter. So the project increased the size of the island from 604 square feet to 1,389 square feet and resulted in slightly decreased width of the travel lane adjacent to the structure. The original island was part of the construction of Village Road, which was then deeded to the town following the completion of the Sykesville Apartments. So based on information provided and what I was able to find, the width of the travel lanes adjacent to the original island structure is unclear, but the site plan shows the narrowest points of the new lane widths to be 18.1 feet when entering Village Road and 19 feet when exiting Village Road. The applicants also arranged for the installation of a new sign for the Sykesville Apartments to be installed. So the new sign is approximately 19.3 square feet on each sign or each side. I noted in the staff report that the applicant did not provide a size for the previous sign, but then I spoke to them on the phone on Friday, and they did give that information. So the old sign was about 18.4 square feet, so the new one's about 1 square foot larger. So staff doesn't feel negatively towards the overall project or the finished product, but is concerned that it was done without the appropriate approvals. And the two main areas that we focused on during our review of the site plan were the lane width and the new sign. So regarding lane width, our town code refers to state standards for road construction. So there's a lot of factors that play into how the state builds roads and the size, but generally speaking, the minimum required lane width for the state is between 11 and 12 feet based on the MDOT SHA access manual. So with that in mind, staff does feel that the existing lane widths adjacent to the new island are reasonable. And staff also had some questions about the ability for large public service vehicles to enter and exit Village Road without obstruction. But we talked to our public works director, and he confirmed that the new island hasn't posed any added difficulties for them with getting their trash trucks in and out of there, which is our largest municipal vehicle. I also wanted to point out, it's not in the staff report, but worth noting that there was an emergency up there after the island construction already began taking place, which required a lot of emergency vehicles, fire trucks, things of that nature to get in and out of there, and we didn't receive any feedback or get any indication that the new island was obstructing them in any way or prevented them to get their vehicles and emergency response vehicles in there as well. And then as for the sign, so the new location, or the location of the new sign is in violation of the town sign ordinance, chapter 180-89. C6 with the relevant section, being that no sign should be placed within 100 feet of an intersection. There are some stipulations to that, but this sign doesn't meet any of those stipulations, so it is in violation of that part of the sign ordinance. The new sign is a replacement of a previously existing sign, which was in the same location, and staff doesn't feel that the new sign creates any safety hazards for vehicles or pedestrians at the Village Road and Sandusky Road intersection. So with that in mind, despite the violation, Planning Commission may allow the sign to remain in its current location with the compromise that we decided, so long that the applicant agrees to relocate the sign upon request of the town to accommodate future improvements to pedestrian infrastructure along Sandusky Road. And just for a little bit of context, the reason that was discussed is because among staff, there have been discussions of pedestrian infrastructure improvements all around town, including all the way up Sandusky Road up to 32 and even across 32 there. And some of those improvements might require a small sidewalk section to be installed through the island there, where the sign is actually located. So our compromise was that the sign could remain until we do that work, and then at which time the town would request that they remove or relocate the sign. I discussed this with the applicant. I'll let them give their own opinion on it, but we did have that discussion already. So the site plan is being presented for Planning Commission review and approval. Staff does recommend approval of the site plan, including allowing the new sign to remain in its current location until requested otherwise by the town. And then I included a recommended motion if Planning Commission decides to agree with that assessment.
Okay.
So, sorry, that was a lot.
Thanks. Are you representing Maryland Management?
Yeah.
Okay. Just a couple of questions from my own point of view. Would you like to introduce yourself, because I don't know who you are?
I'm
Phil Singleton.
Sharon Redmond. I'm the
Sharon.
regional property manager.
Okay. And
I'm Jimmy. I'm Vice President of Concrete Construction Services,
Okay.
subcontractor.
great, thank you. Could you just fill us in on the decision-making process about how it came about that this
Yeah.
project took place without any kind of consultation?
So honestly, it's going to fall on me because I just didn't think about it. The existing sign had been there for probably close to 20 years, and it was deteriorating, so we wanted to get a new sign that was more attractive. And in doing so, we installed stackable stone, I guess is what you would call it. And it just, everything was tight, so we widened it, and I just did not even think about, I mean, in retrospect, silly, I know, but I just didn't even think about it. I was really just trying to make sure we had a nice product there that looked good.
Which it does. So, any comments or concerns from anyone else? No? At this point?
More of a question for Kevin. When's the expectation for the sidewalk improvements? Do you have a
So
planned
we
date
don't have
on
a
that?
timeline as of now. The project that specifically that this would probably be a part of is the Patapsco Regional Greenway Project, which is in conjunction with Carroll County, the state, and then there's also some parties from Baltimore as well that
So a
are
while.
working together. So it would be a while, yes. But
Okay.
so no timeline as of now.
Okay. So I'll just comment on the lane with, obviously I drive that because I live just around the corner, and there's been no issue that I can see in terms of that, so that serendipitous turned out okay. And from the past point of view, the way that road was previously designed, one part of that intersection had a much wider
Yes.
road than the other part, and I've seen on a number of occasions
Oh, yeah.
people drive the wrong part of that intersection, thinking they're able to turn left from there. So at the end of the day, serendipitously, by a circuitous route, it's actually turned out better than it was before. in some ways.
I agree.
So I think we should know that. And, but for future reference, it's probably a good idea if you're doing any more projects to call Kevin. Very good. All right, well, that being said, anything else anybody wants to chip in on that? No?
No.
Good. Well, in which case, I move that we approve the proposed site plan with acknowledgement that the new sign location is in violation of the town sign ordinance and must be moved upon the town's request at any future date. Seconded? Ken?
Second.
All in favour?
Aye.
Good to go. All right. thanks for coming and good luck.
Yeah, that was easy.
Yeah.
I do apologize.
No, all right.
All good.
Thank you. Thanks very much. All right, so we are now back on the agenda where we are with town updates.
Yeah, so nothing new from last month. We're still waiting on stormwater approvals for the enclave from the county, so that'll come back for us when that happens. We haven't heard any update from the Joy property on their site plan. We assume they're working on it, but if I don't hear anything within the next few weeks, I'll go ahead and reach out and for an update.
Quick question on that,
Yeah.
while we're talking about the Joy property. There was, the last time we heard about it, when the road improvements take place on Springfield Avenue, the sidewalk is supposed to be continued
Yeah.
through there. Is that still the case?
Yeah, so that's the plan as part of the, so they might not do the sidewalk improvements, but the sidewalk improvements will happen.
Will happen.
Through the final.
I'm guessing if they want to have a workable site plan where their parking has curb cuts,
Yes.
then they're gonna have to work with whatever.
Yeah, and I know they've been in
Okay.
contact with the engineers for that project to try to get all that figured out ahead of time. I don't know how well that communication's been going back and forth, but they've been working with the state there.
Okay.
And then just while we're on the topic of the work on Springfield Avenue, they started up again, thankfully. It's ongoing. The last update I heard is, finished this summer, but I don't know what this summer really means practically speaking. So unfortunately, I don't have a solid timeline on that. Also wanted to mention, so in Claire's staff report, she mentioned that the county's going through their amendment process for their water and sewer master plan, which we assume, so I'm gonna look into this later this week, but it should include a request from the Schoolhouse Road subdivision. If we recall, they're requesting to be removed from the water service area because they want to have wells up there, but currently it is listed as public water, so they have to be removed from the water service area in order to accommodate that. So we assume their request has been put in.
So just to confirm that that's the property up on the hill that's not yet developed.
That's right, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be the 5 property subdivision.
They have concept plan approval for that, do they?
They have concept plan approval. We even did public facilities approval for that as well. Yeah, again, this was a while ago. It was right around the time I first started. So we're waiting. We were waiting on this amendment to happen before they brought the preliminary plan before us for approval of that. So
Water was the big issue there, right?
water was the issue. Yeah. So like, so they want to do well. So hopefully we get a plan for us pretty soon. And
I haven't heard anything.
I know we haven't really gotten any updates from them. So that's something that
Pretty
I
deep
might.
wells, I would imagine, on that particular property. I don't know where the water table would be on top of
I'm not
Yeah.
sure. And
It's a long way down.
it was my understanding that they wanted to move forward with the request before
Before
even
they
doing a
perked
perk
it.
test. So it's the risk they wanted to take. We recommended that they waited, but
Right.
it's their property, it's their prerogative, so that's what they wanted.
Now, is it also sewer, so they're,
So so they're going to remain public sewer, but have wells for their water service.
it's,
I
I wonder why.
Yeah,
It makes no sense.
Yeah, we all do. I'm not sure what the rationale is behind that decision.
Yeah.
But they were very adamant that it would be significantly cheaper for them somehow, or easier for them. I spoke to their engineers. It was months ago at this point, maybe over a year ago. But they were adamant that it was the best path forward for them. They explored all options, and this was the one that they were really confident that they wanted to go at.
Bizarre.
Well, the sewer hookup fee is significant, but the
Right.
water hookup fee is not that significant. Now, yeah, obviously, it's a long way to run the lines.
Sure, but they're running sewer lines.
But yeah,
Anyway.
exactly,
They're gonna be digging anyway,
exactly.
so-
That's why I was surprised to hear that.
Yeah, it was a little confusing to all of us, but again, they were very adamant that this is what they wanted to do. We made sure that they were sure and they were sure. So
And just one other
yeah.
question in reference to it is, how does the town assess the impact of others that have wells in the community if there's 5 more wells or however many more are installed? How do you do that
as far as I'm
process?
aware, the town doesn't have any means through which we could assess that.
Does the county?
If anyone does, it would be the county.
Right.
So I can absolutely check in with the county and confirm that they do and see what that process is like, and then
Okay.
have it.
There's several properties that are not that far away from there. They're not right next door, but they're not that far away that are on wells, at least 10.
Yeah, it's definitely worth considering. I'll look into that for you.
Thanks.
Alright, and then the last thing I had on town updates, the most important thing, just wanted to take this opportunity to officially thank Jana on the record. As we know, she's retiring, so I wanted to say thank you for everything you've done for this town, for Planning Commission, for me personally. We're gonna miss you quite a bit. It's not gonna be the same without you. So
Thank you.
yeah, thank you
I
a lot.
appreciate that.
So,
I really do.
Nice job bringing cupcakes. That was great.
and thank you, Jeremiah, for the cupcakes as well.
No, it was good. It was a collaboration, right?
Aw, thank you guys.
Yes.
Very sweet. I had sent out my last updates today to staff, and I said this was a bittersweet moment for me, and I can confidently say Planning Commission has been one of my favorite parts of my job. And I do a lot of stuff all over the place, but Planning Commission has always had a special place for me.
Well, good. And we shall miss you. And
Yes, we
again,
shall.
On behalf of the Planning Commission, as part of the public record, we'd like to say thanks. You've certainly smoothed our way and made our jobs a whole lot easier. And good luck in retirement.
Thank you.
I can speak from personal experience that there are no downsides to it whatsoever.
Zero.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Bittersweet becomes sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of that golf. A lot of that golf.
Anything else from anyone? No, in which case I move that we adjourn. Seconded.
I'll take it this time.
I got it.
All in favour? Aye. We're done. Thank you, folks.
I knew he was going to come with it.
That's
That's
right.
good.